What's going on, freaks? All right, there we go. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of said all the stuff I was going to say. The one guy. Like everything that I wrote down, those are the ones. Oh, and then he added those in, so I didn't really have anything fresh on that second part. I try not to repeat what somebody else says, so I think I would have basically every single thing that is discussed or stuff that we've talked about. Yep, we were just it's just on there. They used, my, when I found the location, it's kind of interesting because like Vinny made sure to say, "Hey, Gray's the one that found where the surveillance camera was." He's good. He's pretty good at that, So. Yeah, well, I think that fence is a pretty big deal. What I thought we could do tonight is talk about. They have 4 segments on the show, right? So why don't we do the same exact 4 segments? I see when I get the email, it says them. It says the name of the segments, and we could just do those. What do you guys think of that? Maybe I can. Let's see. What if I put how does it work? Maybe a text on here. Let me see if I can change the size. Oh, what happens if I put it in here? All right, that's big. Select font. Oh, yeah, there you go. So maybe like 25, is that? Well, that's really small. 50. Maybe I can make that a little bit bigger. Like 65. All right. There we go. So we can just put it like right at the top or down here or something like that. See, that was their first question in their first segment. And by the way, you guys, while you're watching, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. My channel relies on the freaks. That's what we call ourselves. Watching the show. There is no ad revenue. You guys are it. One of the main things that we do on this channel is during the month and at the end of each month, we donate thousands of dollars out of the income from ad revenue and super chats and membership gifting and all that. And we make a big difference out there. We gave $46,000 last year. I think 48 the year before that, etc. We're up to 275,600 or 500. 275,500 since January of 2020. So if you have the ability to, that would be awesome. Maybe get some memberships, etc. All right. So this is the first question they asked on the show was on the first segments. I wasn't around for those. Like when you go on there, my segment started at 6:30 to 7. I was on 2 of them. So I think it's 6 is when they started the first 2. And so those people go through from 6 to 6:30. Hello. How's it going? All right, so the one at the bottom says, why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? Yeah, I mean, so that's one of the things that's sort of interesting is that, you know, 2025 and their divorce, they got divorced in 2017, but in the same sort of docket or whatever the hell you want to call it, there's a 2025 new thing from September put in there. So what was that about? Was that something that was sort of a trigger to all of this? You know, and he must have already been sort of thinking about her for a long time. What do you guys think of that? Hello? Come on, let's not start the show off like this. My God, you guys. You can just say hello, everyone, and then let's get moving into this case here. We got the, why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? All right, we've got the, here, I'll put the link here. And somebody wants to call in and give their thoughts. There it is, right there. Let's see if we can get off the zero train real quick, though, you guys. Okay, there we go. Just pinned it. Yeah. I mean, my theory is that they were, he married her and he loved her really a lot, and she's the one that ended the marriage, and he just sort of went with it, but he was probably really devastated, wanted to have kids, etc. And then he ends up marrying somebody else just to sort of hopefully. What's interesting is I want to know, like, when did Spncer and Monique start dating? What year was that? Because haven't they been married for 5 years? So that would put you all the way back to 2020. And then, had they dated 2 or 3 years? And that would put it right around the time they got divorced. And then you sort of wonder, does he think that they met while they were married? But anyways, he married her to sort of trying to make himself feel better, but didn't have the same love that he had for Monique. And then that marriage fizzled out because he didn't marry her for the right reasons or anything. And it just sort of fizzled away. And then probably, recent hard times and whatever that was from 2025, maybe that created some sort of trigger for him where he started thinking about it again, and then he saw the wedding videos and all the stuff on, who knows how long he's been watching those. But he's seeing somebody else, Spncer Tepe, living the life that he thought he deserved. All right? He thought he deserved that life. And somebody else is living the life that he was supposed to be in. And he feels like his life is ruined, and so he's going to go ahead and ruin 2 other people's lives. And actually ruins a hell of a lot more than that. Well, I guess it doesn't ruin the life of the kids, because someday they'll grow up. It's just they didn't get to have their parents with them. So then he shoots Monique in the chest because she broke his heart, and then shoots Spncer multiple times out of anger. You're the guy that stole my woman. You took away my chance to be happy. But hey, guys, we're still at 0000000 all the way across the board. Is there any chance, you guys, like I just said a minute ago, my channel does rely on you guys who are watching to help support the channel. We don't have any other sources here. There's no ad revenue to speak of on these live streams. And we memberships gifted, etc. Yeah, what's that got to do with anything? Yeah, I don't know if she was afraid of him back then. She probably just realized she didn't really like him that much. She probably became afraid of him. I think it's almost certain that she said something to somebody or he, she told, well, I don't know if she said something, but maybe their family members, she said, oh man, this guy's it's getting crazy, there's something weird going on, like a stalker. This is wild in here. Like I said, every time I'm on Court TV, the show produces worse than any other show during the entire week. It's wild. No, the reason why, who the hell knows, No idea. Weren't they married for 5 years? Like their 5th wedding anniversary was coming up. Yeah, maybe, Laura. I mean, this did happen on the 30th, so right before New Year's. He wanted to make sure that they didn't get to have a good one. All right, well. I don't know. I don't think he had kids. Yeah, so there's supposed to be a wedding anniversary. I mean, another one. But how long did they date prior to that? I think that'd be an interesting question to have answered. I mean, had they actually met while she was still married to Michael? Now, they didn't... Nobody knows what the 25th was about. I mean, not 25th. The 2025 September... you get these people saying, oh, it was a mistake, and they corrected it. You have no idea, man. These people, they just try to eliminate stuff so they can go on with their own stories. We don't know what that was, okay? We don't know what the deal was. There was something in 2025 in September. Oh, well, that's the question. So why, what... After all that time, what made it where he wanted to do that right now? Was something coming up that was, discussed in that 2025 September documents or whatever the hell that was? We don't know. So they met online on 2019. You read that? Okay. So that would have been after. And when did he get married his second time? And I'm talking about Michael. When did he get married? Mm-hmm. Yeah, see how we got the trolls in here again? You guys not... Does anybody not see that she's a troll here? Yeah. I do need your guys' support, you guys. My channel relies on you guys. Love Boston just came in here to be a troll again, just like she was yesterday. I gave her another chance. She doesn't learn from anything. It's just okay. She doesn't... Her mind doesn't work well. Okay, but my channel does rely on you guys. So if you feel like I do a good job doing the shows, I would appreciate your support. That would be awesome. Yeah, well, you should have removed her, not just delete the comment. Block her from the channel. Thank you. But it's floating around. I haven't seen any documents though. Right. Yeah. I had a feeling it was going to be like this because of that. Yeah, she performs to a crowd of people she's part of that I'm aware of. So I guess, why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? That was the question they were asking. Yeah, it's hard to say, like, oh, it just kept building up, and then he got upset. Now, we're still at 0, everybody. Have you ever seen a night where we're about 15 minutes in and it's just 0 all the way across the board? Candle Woodward Stone, 52 months. Yeah. Why not? A lot of other people do. Not seen any confirmation of a second marriage. Well, no, he got married, yeah. He got married again. He had a wife. Michael got remarried to somebody, and that didn't last very long. That's a fact. Gray, did you say Monique and Michael, the ex, have child abuse? Yeah, there was something like that. Well, no, I didn't. I don't know if I said child abuse. I just said that there was something in there. I'm not certain if that was like a form document that just has certain wording in. Hey, thanks so much, Kathy. All right, we got off the 0. I mean, my God, you guys. It's like I don't know, man. I guess people aren't aware of what we do over here. We've funded $100,000 plus into a DNA fund for identifying Jane and John Does, and have had multiple solves based on our funding. And yes, the income helps support my channel, allows me to keep doing these shows, and it also, we do a lot of great things outside. Not only do I put out the factual information in cases and speculate reasonably based on the facts, and I think that's a service in the true crime industry, where so many nut jobs do wild speculation on every single thing. We also donate thousands and tens of thousands of dollars every single year to true crime related charities. Hopefully that's something that a lot of you guys feel is worthwhile to support. Apparently tonight we just have one person who felt that way. Anyways, does anybody have any other thoughts on why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? What do you think? Hello? Anybody there? Age played a role? In what way? A lot of people expect to be, that's what we were saying, he was obsessed, right? People expect to be settled in marriage and with kids by 40, which he turns this year. Yeah. He was feeling like his chance had come and gone, that kind of thing. That's kind of, I don't know, that'd be weird. If he's a doctor, it seems like he shouldn't have a problem finding somebody at some point. Even a younger person. There's a lot of people looking for that. Yeah, well, I mean, that would just be, he was obsessed with her, not holding a grudge. I think it's more like he thought that that's who, he was supposed to be with her. She's the one that left. How dare her pick somebody else and start a life that he should have had, she screwed him over, is what he's thinking in his head. She screwed him over, and that guy is the one that, and he's just somebody that makes him so angry because he's living the life that he didn't get to have. I can just see it. Yeah, maybe, Kathy. We don't know that, though. There's no indication whatsoever. But, we do have the 2025 September, perhaps something. So maybe there was some kind of communication. And then I also think that the friends and let's not call her Mo. You're not really a friend of hers, right? Let's just call her by her name, Monique. She was, let's see. I think she told her family members that, hey, there's something weird going on with my ex. I think that Spncer told his work that like his wife is, there's some, it's kind of like a stalker. And I think that's exactly why the owner of the business said that he's more concerned that the wife didn't answer the phone, because that in his mind makes him believe they're not answering in relation to her. And that's the story that Spncer told, except he didn't mention it on the 911 call. That just might be him, not doing that. But on the side, they might have told police that same thing. And I think that's, they were probably on to it being Spncer, or being Michael from the beginning. Hey, thanks, Tony Morrow. I think that they were on to it being, let's see, Michael, like from the very beginning. And they basically tracked the guy walking back to a car that they know was his, and then they tracked it all the way back to where he came from. That's what they did. Hey, thanks, Eagle. Yeah, there's crazy people like that, They just, who knows, he probably was checking in on her all the time. That's why I always compare it to, like, what's interesting, whenever I'm on CourtTV, sometimes I go sort of out, like reference a case, but I know that Vinny knows all of them. Every single case that I'm going to bring up, he's aware of that case. I bet you if I'd said Kendra Hatcher, that's the one case that really feels similar to me. That's like the most similar is Kendra Hatcher. Yeah. And that's, if you weren't here the other day when I was explaining again, Kendra Hatcher was a dentist. I mean, ironically, right? I mean, she was a dentist. And then she was dating this guy named Panagua, Ricardo Panagua, I think is his name. But Ricardo had been dating a girl named Brenda Lazaro, I think. And they were dating, they had been dating for a while, and then they broke up. But Brenda was obsessed with Ricardo. He was her meal ticket, right? I think she came from Mexico. And she was just so, like I said, he was the meal ticket. And then Ricardo met Kendra Hatcher. And they started dating, and it was like a whirlwind romance, photos all over Facebook of them taking trips to San Francisco from Dallas, Texas. Ricardo meeting her parents. Obviously Brenda was sort of like a booty call type person to Ricardo. She never got to meet his parents or anything like that. But then, after they were dating for a while, Brenda was so obsessed and jealous that she hired a hitman and another girl as the driver to drive into the apartment complex, and she like bugged people's phones. I mean, set it up like email, attachment things that could show where she was. So like when Kendra Hatcher shows up to her apartment, they drove in, and then one of them shot the guy named Love. He's the hitman. He shot her in the head. I mean, just killed her right there in the parking lot. So to me, it's really similar, except in this case, Brenda wanted to be with Ricardo, so she thought if Kendra was out of the way, she could have a shot with him. So she didn't want Ricardo killed. Now, I bet you if she married married Kendra Hatcher, and maybe they had a couple kids and she was still tripping out, she may have paid somebody to kill both of them. So that's where it's sort of similar, but the same obsession, I mean, just crazy. And by the way, Paulette, you see what I'm saying about what's her face? Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I think he got it when someone took the dog to go potty. Oh, jeez, we're back here. Didn't even hear what I was just saying. Yeah, we don't have any idea what that was about. Right, she was just tricking the other day, yesterday with the, oh, thank you. It was just all a game. Performing for a crowd. Made sure the kids... Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where that's coming from, where he made sure the kids were safe. How would that work? Can anybody come up with something that sounds reasonable, where somehow he was able to make sure the kids were safe? Like, how'd that work? Was that after he was in the house and he was already had everybody at gunpoint? Wouldn't the kids start yelling like, "Who the hell are you? What's going on?" It just that whole story. I don't know where that's coming from. It might be totally true. We haven't seen the document. The probable cause. I said on CourtTV, I was really disappointed with the summary of probable cause. It's so short. There's nothing provided in there. What you really want is to have the full probable cause, but it's been sealed, all of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he went through that sunken window area and just sort of knew that it was unlocked. Perhaps he went there another time, but right there's a sunken window. You drop down and then it goes right into the basement. And maybe it was unlocked and he just slid it open and went in. There is a keypad on this door right here. So, I mean, if you had the keypad combo and it's the same as the front, I don't know if they're connected digitally. Maybe they're both two separate ones. What would be... I don't know how he would have got it. There's some, strange theories on, like, how he would get the keypad combo. That almost seems... like, that can't be how he got in. I don't know how he would get that information. People don't send keypad information in emails. Interestingly, after the cops were called to do a welfare check, they went out, the police went to the wrong place, and then some of the coworkers, probably at 8 in the morning, drove all the way from the dental office that he worked at and drove all the way out there and were there at like 9 something. And they had the keypad number. So did the brother have it? But I doubt he would ever share it with somebody. That's the whole thing. So somebody had the keypad information for them to get in to observe them on the ground, or at least observe Spncer. Do you guys agree with that? No, you don't know that, Mrs. Stone. Let's see. Ring cameras gave exact time. Yeah, I said that already. Yeah. I mean, I said that on the show that I was just on. That the gunshot was at 3:52 is the time of death, and they know that because they have audio from Ring cameras. Right. Yeah, I don't think so at all. Nobody's getting up at 3:30 in the morning to let a dog out. Not a chance. I just don't think that. I mean, I can't say not a chance. I would say I don't think it's likely at all that it was because they waited, he waited for somebody to let the dog outside. I mean, It's possible. He just sat there. He got there at a certain time, and he just sat outside and waited and waited and waited and waited for somebody to let the dog to go pee outside. And he goes, "Hey, get back in." Goes back inside. And then how did it work with the dog right then, though? Like the dog's running around, and then he goes, "Hey, call your dog. We got to bring him in." And then, okay, put your kids in the room. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't jive. It might be true. I just. And if you want one of your comments read or have a question, put it in the super chat. You'll be priority. All right. But I could still use your guys' support. We're currently only at 1/9 of a nightly goal. We're really, really, really far away. So. How? How would one of the kids have told him, Candalee? How'd that happen? That means he would have already been inside the house for them to tell him what the keypad is. You mean he saw him outside playing one time and said, "Hey, what's your keypad?" Mm-hmm. I mean, it is work. I just don't think that just sort of seems it's too risky. Like, how do you know what time he's going to let the dog out? What if he lets the dog out at 6 in the morning? Just or at 5:50, and then there's other people up, more people awake, etc. But he's inside the house, and they were killed at 3:52. So it feels like he went in there on his own. He had to. I mean, again, would you drive 600 miles, or not 600 miles? Would you drive a 6-hour drive to just hope he goes out and lets the dog out? Just to hope. It seems like you would do that kind of drive knowing that you're going to get inside the house. And that was something I'd already been thinking. And of course, somebody else brings it up in front of me on CourtTV. I don't get to be the one that said it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess I need to. That question's below me. We're not on to the next question yet. The question that originally, these are the CourtTV question segments. Why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? Like, why, after all these years, why is he doing it right now? I think he was obsessed all these years, and then something related to the 2025 court filing in his divorce is the trigger, along with another lawsuit. He got another divorce, and he just feels like everything's collapsing around him, and he's just, my life was screwed, and she's the one that did it. And I was so happy. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Bullock. Let's see if we can get some gifted channel memberships, you guys. We've only got 5 of those tonight. Really struggling there, too. Thank you, Cheryl Bullock. Ding, 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 ding. An hour and a half to work. Yeah, well, it wasn't an hour and a half. It was an hour and like 10 minutes. I did a Google Maps on it. It's all freeway for him. So it was like an hour and 10-minute drive. Yeah, so he was supposed to be at work at 7. So I would think he would I would think he would get up at 5 in the morning. Guys don't take that long to get dressed or get ready. He probably got up at 5, took a quick little rinse off shower kind of thing. He probably would, probably had a coffee on a timer, just throws some clothes on, and then you sort of wake up during the drive all the way there, right? Well, we can just do it right here. You guys want to do the timing? Maybe I forgot exactly what it was, but it's over here. Athens Dental. So we could just say Uh, all right, let's see. How about get directions from Athens, or their house to Athens Dental. Actually, we'll just go over there and get the address. Oh, yeah, see right there, an hour and 10 minutes, 74.3 miles, an hour and 10 minutes. That's the quickest route. Guess I could put that down there, and then let me add this to the, that says way down at the bottom, right here, and then I think the first one, yeah, so it's that one, so get rid of this one and this one, and I think and then we can just grab the route, put that underneath the, right here, there you go, and remove this whole thing. Ah, jeez, that, okay, that's still here. Property, style and color, that's invisible, so 100. All right, there you go. So that's the route, pretty straight drive, Highway 33 all the way over there. So it's an hour and 10 minutes. Where did I just put that? I don't know. I must, maybe I clicked something. I don't know what happened. How long ago did I get muted? I think I clicked a button over here. There's a mute button. Maybe it was good for some of the trolls out there. But hey guys, if you're out there watching, if you could please help support the channel. We need more gifted channel memberships for people. That would be fantastic. Nobody's required to help support the channel, but it's greatly appreciated since you guys are the sole source of the income that comes on when I do my live streams, which is pretty much all I do. I don't have any other options, is what I'm saying. Oh, yeah? Yeah, no, I think they're... I don't know what happened, but I must have clicked on something and the mic got muted over here. You know, I found this guy, Michael, on using this software they've got. He's got a, that's sort of interesting. Got a lot of accounts out there. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, well, this is freezing up. I don't know. Can't even open up that folder. Yeah, well, that's why I brought up. The reason I brought up Kendra Hatcher is because of the wedding video. It's similar to all of the images that Kendra Hatcher was putting up that sort of fueled the flames of jealousy by somebody else. And it's not their fault. Like, why should they have to think about that? You know, I guess in this case, if, the wedding video was put out years ago, though. It's not like it was, so this might be sort of a recent thing where there was an uptick in the fear that Michael might be doing something, and their last thought was, oh, we better get rid of the wedding video. I mean, that was 5 years ago. They probably hadn't even thought of it. It wasn't even their video. It was on their brother-in-law's page. I think he's always been triggered, but it could be something put him over the edge, the trigger, more recent. Yeah. What are you talking about? KK. Ah, jeez. Let's not do the rumor stuff on here, please. You know how this channel works, right? Okay, thanks. Yeah, if you can confirm it, then you can bring it on here, but don't just... That's just out of nowhere. Yeah. Master bedroom when leaving to stop kid from getting in. I don't know. It sounds like they were, that little story that people are saying was that he made sure that they weren't harmed originally when he came in. Yeah, I know. You just said that. KK. There's no factual basis for that whatsoever. It's just, people on YouTube just say whatever they say, or on Facebook they just start rambling and people go, ooh, 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 and, run with it like it's a big story. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Well, you have the software to confirm who his father adopted a biological... What? I have no idea what you're talking about. A person like him will hang out on every word. Yeah, we got to do it the way the other channels do. If you want your comments read, you do super chats, you put it in a comment, and then we talk about it. You know what I mean? My channel, people don't seem to ever do that. I don't know why. Yeah, Quagmire, yeah. Yeah, it's different. That's not the same. That thing doesn't look up people like that. It just looks up, their different social media things. Ancestry might have that. Yeah, I think there's something going on. My connection to the... Hold on, I gotta redo something with the J drive. something's... See that? I'll have to close it, see what happens. I don't know, Lisa. Seems like the trolls won tonight. I'm not sure what's happening over here. I might have to reboot or something here in a second. See, it's like everything's frozen. Come on. Shut down. Oh yeah? Well, thanks for buying a coffee for me. Got Lisa Valenzuela and Bethany got me a coffee. But I'm not sure why. See how this is like frozen in that position? And I'm even when I end task, it just sits there. So that's not good. Should I just do like a cold restart and see? Well, I don't know what'll happen. I'd have to. I'm not sure how StreamYard works when that's the deal. Oh, there it went. Finally disappeared. All right, let's see. Share screen. Entire window. There we go. Share. Hide. All right, so is it working on? Works now? Okay, good. So now it should work now. Because I unplugged and plugged back in the 2 external hard drives. Let me update that first. Maybe that'll help something out. And then we'll move on to the next questions. But you guys, we're currently at 1/9 of the nightly goal on this channel. The people that are normally here understand what I'm talking about. Is there a reason why we are struggling so much tonight? They called friends who lived closer to go over. No one drove for Athens. I don't know. No, I heard. No, I think some of them did drive there, Mrs. Stone. I saw one of the articles, or at least not one of the calls. One of the ladies said they drove over there from there. You must have missed that one. And we don't know what time he was walking behind the house. That's what I was saying on CourtTV. Is I think it'd be really interesting to see what time he walks back there, and then what time, you know, they see him. They know when he was at his car and he went there, and then they know what time he went back out to his car. Hey, thanks, Notorious Nance. Yeah, you've repeated that twice, Mrs. Stone. If you keep repeating, we're going to have to put you on timeout. You just said the same thing twice. All right, let's see. I was still updating over here. Let's see what happens. What do you mean Cam was on another dental app? What practice? Hey, Mrs. Stone, you don't know it better than everybody. Can you just quit doing your I know everything better? Let me just fill in every single gap. Trust me when I tell you you don't. All right? Let's see. We've got this. What time was he walking behind the house? Well, we know that the murders happened at 3:52. So, and remember how they said 2 to 5 earlier? Yeah. I don't know. Well, now it's like 2 to 5. Just seemed like they just wanted to make sure there was a broad range. I mean, obviously, he didn't get there exactly at 2, and he was completely done at 5. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's not real. So they were just giving a wider range, but now law enforcement can dial it in to a precise time frame. Yeah, it's still trying to update this damn thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. It's sort of frozen at 46%. Updating. Yeah, I mean, please help. Yeah. Have friends in common with victims. Please don't be rude. How about you don't be rude, Mrs. Stone? You keep just, almost diarrhea of your fingers typing, just over and over and over again. Okay, if you say something like that again, I'm just gonna remove you. Let's see. Didn't he drive from Zanesville? Michael drove from all the way over near Chicago, yeah. And now we're back at the moderators not blocking the comments. Got to get those out of there. Where are the moderators when you need them, huh? This is the time where you need it. Jesus. I'm just still trying to get this software installed. There's an update, and it's just sort of frozen now. I'm just going to open it up anyways. Yeah, Jesus, what a nightmare. Yeah, don't know. See, what is that? What does that sound? It seems like a time to remove it. Let's see. I don't see any new comments in here. Do you guys want to I'll just do a show another time, or we're back to one of these days again? Just dead as a doornail. I'm waiting for some software to get installed so I can open up that video again, but unfortunately, it's not working. Yeah, maybe I can just open it up before. Maybe it's going to work now. Let's see. Got something opening. We'll see. Yeah, I appreciate you trying to share, Mrs. Stone, but you keep doing it in a way where you believe you're correcting everybody, but it's not. You know what I mean? Man, what happened to everything? This is Premiere Pro, and it doesn't have. I'm gonna have to go into. Geez, see, look at that. Oh, it's unavailable. The J drive. So no, that's why it's not showing anything on there. Now I'm just going to try to reboot, you guys, and we'll just see what happens. I'm going to remove myself. and I'm going to reboot, and hopefully I can come back in somehow. All right. Hey, thanks, Mary Mellon. All right, but I'll be back here in a minute. You know, we'll see how it's going. It's been kind of a frustrating night. Can you guys hear me at all? Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy. That's weird. It was still streaming over here on StreamYard. What are the odds of that? That's wild. That's crazy. Look at that. All right. Yeah, you like the Blazers? That's not where I was going. Okay, I didn't even get to save that map thing that we put on there before it died. Alright, got that going. Got to open up Adobe Premiere. Yeah. Anyways, thanks up there to Mary Mellon. Appreciate it. Very kind. But we're currently, tonight, we are at, I mean, just really bad. We're at 1/6 of a nightly goal, and we're already like an hour in. You know, that's not, it's pretty tough. Hour and 5 minutes. I know you guys don't really care about that, but if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that would be fantastic. Nah, I didn't get a PayPal. Yeah, so why isn't that opening anymore? So at least it's going over here. God, man, this is... PRPROJ. PRO... P... PRP... PRPR... Yeah, I think that might be it. There we go. All right, look at that, man. A miracle. We all came back. Yeah, I was looking at this earlier. It kind of reminded me of Tyler Robinson a little bit. You know, I was wondering if, like, see right there, there's like, it looks like it goes on top of that. You know, is that something related to him going over? You know, maybe there's like dust on top of it, and then there's like a mark that goes from right at the edge and then up over the top. You know, I would think that they would make sure to dust this area here. You know, if they have him on surveillance going through the front door, which I really doubt, you know, I guess it's possible that he, you know, went through the front and never went over these back here. Hey, thanks so much, Chris O'Connell. So I'm sure that, and you know, you get these people in the comments saying, you know, Gray, they didn't make those fences right. They're not supposed to have this middle one. And it's like, okay, but I mean, who cares, you know? It is what it is. Anybody can climb over this fence, even without this thing here. It's really not significant, you know? It's like sleuthing for the sake of sleuthing. All right, let's see. And then it goes around to the other one right there. Maybe you went over this. You know, they could probably check there. Maybe there's like a tread mark. Just a really small partial tread mark on that little middle area where you'd place your foot. Where'd that come from? Is that an old one, or when was that comment? I don't see anything in here. Weird. Who said that? Yeah, and then obviously down here. So on CourtTV they said, now we were able to determine that there was these things, and then Vinny had to come back on and say, yeah, we basically everything that Gray showed us the other day, we went out and saw those things. Yeah, so it was, they even pointed out, guess what? They said, oh yeah, and this brick wall, you know, it's like the two things that I use. But they at least said, hey, yeah, you know, that was cool. It just wasn't presented that way when the first person said it. And there's the camera right there. So he came from that direction, which means he came from up here somewhere. So I would imagine he either parked right here on 9th Street or 11th Street, you know, maybe over here somewhere, and he just kind of, who knows? I mean, what we do know is he was parked over here, not somewhere over here somewhere. If he's going to walk down this alley, I doubt he went, yay, let me keep doing these loops all over the place, and let me be filmed by about 75 different cameras. That's probably not happening. Now, what's earlier tonight? Oh, yeah, it was on there at 6:30 to 7. Actually, I think last night somebody donated 50 channel memberships. Carl, and I think that's the same amount that Marty's Bar and Grill did that one time. That's amazing. I've had 2 of those in the last I don't know, 2 months or something. Pretty cool. But right now we're at 1/30th of a nightly goal. Or not 1/30th, 1/3, 30% is what I'm saying. Yeah, so he probably parked over here and he walked this direction. So somewhere over in this area, I would think he could get to his car in less than 10 minutes from getting to the homicides and then getting to his car. So like 10 minutes at the most. Might even be a lot quicker, maybe 4 or 5. I mean, if he just parked right here on the side of this road, I mean, let's say he drives into the town and he just pulls up, drives down, parks underneath that tree over there, right along here somewhere. And then he gets out of his car and he walks this direction. And then he goes this way, right down here. And he makes his way all the way down. Yeah, that's what we keep saying. We want the probable cause because he gave us just the summary of it, which was the worst summary I've ever heard. I mean, just ludicrous. Anyway, so yeah, he made it to this spot and then made it in over to the backyard somehow. I mean, over those fence, and then got in somehow. And then after he was done, he probably just walked right down the same place. I would bet money that they have the same surveillance camera, films him going this direction. You know, I always think it's weird when a reporter doesn't say, can you tell us what time that surveillance camera shot was? I mean, why doesn't somebody ask somebody something? And, you know, he probably had the car parked on this side, so when he was done, he could take off and go that direction. Because I think he probably wants to, well, I don't know, where, way up there, maybe he doesn't go that way. I guess he probably could go that way somehow and, you know, get up on these highways and then make his way, where was that? Over here. I mean, it's way over here in Chicago. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to head west from the crime scene. All right, you guys, you know, as I've said 17 times now, my channel relies on you guys. Is there any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? I always hate being relegated to asking a million times, but that's really the only way to make the goals, and we're just struggling. So let's see if we can get somebody out there, if they can do like a challenge of some sort. That would be cool. Maybe we can somehow figure out a way to get there. But like I said last night, every single time I'm on Court TV without fail, we really struggle in here by various people for some reason. We don't know why. What the heck? Jeez. I was hoping for just a challenge of some sort, but hey, thank you. Chris O'Connell. What does that get us at? Hey, now we're at about, we are 20, let's see, like 22 channel memberships away from the goal. What do you think of that? That's not bad. All right, so we've been talking about why would Michael McKee, and I mean, anyway, by the way, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're always so kind, generous. Yeah. So the first question we were asking about was why would Michael McKee allegedly do it now? Yeah, well, my spirits were okay, and then we had the same troll from last night show up and create the same problems, and then, but I didn't dwell on it, and then my computer had a problem, and I had to reboot, but it was pretty interesting how it just sort of started streaming again, easily, like, right? So basically what it turns out is, you know, when you use StreamYard, it's on a website, right? And then I have, you know, then it streams to YouTube. So I had to remove myself from the show and then just reboot the computer. And then when I opened up the website again, and then it just said it was already streaming already. But the screen was black, and then I realized, oh, I got to add myself back into the scene. And then once I did that, everything worked. Pretty cool. I mean, that's the interesting thing about YouTube is, you know, when I'm using OBS Studio or StreamYard, when I'm finished with the show, StreamYard actually closes down YouTube as well if you have the settings correct. But if you don't do that, YouTube will remain an active stream for like 4 hours, which is pretty cool because that means if you're just having a really struggling stream or something, you have to reboot, it's just still sitting there, and then you just rejoin it, and then when it finally uploads, it removes the entire part where there was no data being sent to it. It really just kind of halts the streaming element where it's actually adding something to it. Maybe I thought you guys would find that mildly interesting. Hey, look at that. It's our buddy Lanky Tor. How's it going? Thank you. All right, I'm going to have to get out an email and open up my email and get the second one. Because we have all the same topics that CourtTV had. So let's go get that. All right, the next one is... how did Michael McKee allegedly get into the house? All right. How do you guys think that? How do you think he got in? Do you think, like somebody said earlier, that he just hoped that somebody would let the dog out and that's when he went in? Or did he have the code? Or did he figure out some way? Like, it feels to me that he's been there before. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he went there before and he didn't kill anybody, so nobody was looking at their surveillance cameras or anything. But he'd gone there before. And I'm just wondering if he knew somehow that window that's down in that little indented area, the sunken window area, if he knew that he could go down there and get into the house down there. I don't know. It seems like it'd be really difficult for him to have got the code from somebody. That would have been real. I mean, if he figured out a way to get the code by just some crazy emails that are, tracking and doing different stuff like that, then man, he was much more conniving. Oh yeah. I like Vinny a lot. I think Vinny, what he does is so hard, and he gets into each case. He just and I think on his regular show on YouTube or whatever, he can get more into the cases, but he just doesn't have the time with all the different things that he's doing. He's really good at what he does, by the way. I mean, and here's what I can tell you: is like when you're waiting to go on, you can just hear them talking sometimes, and he's doing promo shots, and he just zips them off one after another. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, we know that. We were just talking about that earlier, Julie. I don't know if he'll call in or not. What do you mean, Bruce? I don't get it. Anyways, at the top of the screen, you guys, if you want to call in and talk about some of these topics, that would be great. There was we don't know if they're custody of what. There was they didn't have any children together, so I would think that whatever the 2025 thing is related to their divorce, I mean, I don't know what that could be. It was all done, everything's done, and all of a sudden there's another sort of entry in there. What is that? Yeah, there's no children that they shared. What about the dog, Gray? What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Puff the Magic Dragon? I've never talked trash about Vinny in here. I mean, years ago, I criticized him, sure, but we've already worked through all that. You fool! I mean, why don't you go do something else? I haven't said anything negative about him for a long time. I didn't realize what he was actually doing. It was a long time ago, and I would just criticize the show, how they would just quickly, it's still somewhat similar. It's it's just they don't have time to like dig deep into stuff like what we do, where we absolutely know the cases. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, it's always a troll that says stuff like that. Don't worry about it. I'm just, for the people who read that. Yeah, I just, I mean, people always say, Granny, how come you're so much nicer when you're on that show? Well, you know why? Because I don't have to deal with the same bullshit people that come in here sometimes. Do you guys understand that? Like, there's these trolls that come in here. When I'm on Vinny, one of their producers doesn't go, gosh, Gray, you're an asshole, man. That one time when you was blah, 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 blah. They don't say that crap. If they did, I probably would. I would turn it into a shit show or something. You know, but the thing is they're nice over there. And when I come in here, most of you guys are all nice. But then there's these trolls that show up and they're absolute morons. They think that, and then they pretend that me getting upset about it is somehow, like, it's my fault what they said. It's really weird. Yeah. So anyways, how did Michael McKee allegedly get in the house? How about this? Let's do poll questions here. How did Okay, this is just a first question. All right, here we go. Yeah, they almost never, Vinny's usually good at giving me credit for stuff that I do, and he knows that I did it. Like, I'll actually text him and I go, man, have you seen this? Look what I figured out here. This is crazy. And he'll go, oh, cool, I'll pitch that. Or, it's like and sometimes I get on from that, and sometimes he just gets hold of me and goes, hey, or his producers do, and say, hey, are you available to come on and do this case or that case? And a lot of times, I mean, I would say about 7 or 8 times I've said, nah, I don't know that one. I don't want to go on. I don't want to be a talking head type when I go on to one of these shows. I want to be somebody that knows the case, like I actually know what I'm doing. I don't want to go on when it's a case that I've just barely looked at or something, and I have to go look it up and then have some thoughts. And that's just not my gig. That's what you use the forensic, or like the Joseph Scott Morgan types, that actually just can speculate on any case, and then it has some credibility to it. When I want to be on, when I have credibility, when I cover a case a lot and I know it. This is a case that, believe it or not, nobody actually knows very well at all. I know all the facts, or at least most of the facts that are knowable at this point. Maybe the person that was in here earlier talking about these people went from a closer place. I mean, sure. Whatever, Maybe that's something. But all I know is some of his... originally, I thought his coworkers just came from right around the house there. Like, they're just not coworkers, but colleagues that just happened to live in the same town, and they went over there. But then one of the articles said that they took off and went there from work. And see, this is why... Doesn't it make you think that these people had knowledge of something? That they were that upset that quickly? It's pretty crazy. I haven't seen a lot of our mods tonight. Just a few. I think the back, the person on the... Yeah, back of the house. Well, yeah, I think it's the back of the house. I just want to see how many people thought it was the front. Okay? We don't need explanations and stuff. It's pretty obvious. All right, now that we've done that part, since the back of the house wins, but hey, guys, is there any chance somebody out there else other than Chris O'Connell? Let's see if we can do a challenge of some sort. All right, we got to try to get to the goal tonight. And I'm just saying because she's always so generous, and I just, I want these people, like to have a break. It's not like they don't have to do anything. But they're always supporting the channel, and I wish other people were doing that. You guys know what we've been doing all these years, and it just feels strange that so few of you now are helping, we're at a weird place now where the videos I put out don't make any ad revenue either. Nobody seems to want to watch, and we're just absolutely in a strange, uncharted territory with way too many YouTubers doing YouTube videos. I'm going to end that pull up there. Got 61. All right. So going through the back. Okay, there we go. Hey, wait, why is it doing? Oh, I was too many letters. All right, there we go. There's the next one. And nobody responded to what I just said. Yeah, I'm doing the poll question. Yeah, Lanky's been around forever. I even talked about you yesterday, Lanky Tor, because I brought up Jodi Arias again, and I said, man, she's like the biggest fan of my Jodi Arias videos. Yeah, so 70% of the 90% think it's the lower window to the basement. And that's what I think, too. I don't think the keypad, that just doesn't make any sense. I actually think the dog theory is more likely than the keypad. Okay? But I don't think either of those are that likely. I think it would be... if the wife was nervous about him at all, there's no way that there would be, keypads to houses. I mean, who has that information? You might give it to a brother, maybe the parents, one good friend or something, and the spouses, and that's it, man. It's not something that you're sharing all over the place, sending email. Hey, here's my code, it's just, people don't do that. Right. Hey, thanks, Vicky. Hey, somebody heard. All right. Yeah, we need another 17 channel memberships. Yeah. Don't worry, Michelle. Those people just make up stuff like that. Don't worry about it. Don't. Let's see. Yeah, don't buy everything you see on those other YouTubers. They just come up with stuff and go ooh 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 ooh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't think that's what's going on. You think that she gave other key codes out and he got one of them too? It just doesn't seem like... There's nothing they share, okay? Monique does not share anything with Michael. So there'd be no reason for him to ever be in that house or anything. You know, if they had a kid together, okay. I actually could understand if he had the key, the code. Wouldn't, don't you agree? Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, if they had a kid together, I could see him having the code. Because then it would be like he had rights and he might need to get there to do something. You know, who knows, right? But that would even be kind of weird. But it would make more sense. They don't share kids. They don't share anything. They've been divorced for 9 years or so, almost 10. And all of a sudden, he's got the code to get in there. But one thing you got to think is you must have went there knowing he was going to get in. Hey, wow, thank you, Nanny Mo. Hey, very cool. Thank you so much. Wow. Awesome. So what was that? I think we need just 7 more of those suckers, and then I'll donate 5 myself. Or maybe 8. I think it's 8. There you go. That was very kind, Nanny Mo. A cat eye donation in memberships. I think he's too big to go through. Nah, he's not too big to go through that basement window. That thing is huge. No way. Yeah. Yeah. Here, I'll show you. Hold on a second. Have you been watching my show where we showed all those pictures and everything? There it is. All right, watch. That's not the window. That's not the window. None of those are the window. That's the window. That's huge. That thing is tall. It's right down in there. That's just like you open that sucker up and you're right in. Now, I don't know how far that opens. Does it open up like not big enough for him to get in? I don't know. But look, right there. See that? It's right there. Oh, you can't see. Oh, sorry. I had a friend who was robbed. Code was the kid's birthday. Yeah, I mean, but let me ask you something. Eagle, Stars, and Stripes. Do you think you would drive 600 miles on a guess? I mean, not 600 miles, but 6 hours or like a 7-hour drive to go kill somebody on a guess of what the code might be? All right, so I'm back here. This is inside the house, all right. Sorry about that. I thought I was on this one right there. Let's just go downstairs again. All right, so right there, that's the sunken window right there. T Moral, don't you think that's big enough for a person to go through? Now, what we don't know is how wide does that open? Is it feasible for him to get in, or is it a window that only opens up 8 or 9 inches and he can't get in, and then that sort of rules out the window? But it is big. It's a big window. It almost seems like an escape route for other people. So we had that one. Hold on. This is the one from Eagle, Stars, and Stripes. People post too much info. Yeah, I mean, that'd be crazy if it was one of those. I just don't know if he would drive that far on a hope. What do you think, Eagle? I went back to... Yeah. Right, exactly. And there's Michelle Pate said, thank you for all of the work that you put into these videos. Well, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I try to work hard. I always, that's why I hope people support my channel. It's weird, though, like I always say, when you watch the conspiracy channels, it looks like a freaking slot machine in there. And those people are absolute swindling, idiots that have no problem tricking. It's just a lie what they're doing. It's crazy. And now people are going to turn this one. I even predicted it. I said, watch, people will say, well, what's the evidence against him, man? Trying to create the angle. Hey, do we got enough people that are into this? Ooh, we can really get this one going. Yeah, they know he's the guy, man. I bet you it's very similar to Jodi Arias' case. Remember when, I said this yesterday, but you remember when Jodi Arias, she killed Travis Alexander, and then when the people showed up at the house, every single one of them told, even on 911 and everybody, they said, oh, we know who did this. He had a stalker girlfriend, Jodi. And that's exactly who did it. I think that happened in this case. I think some of the friends all knew, oh man, this guy's like a stalker. And I bet you they've had conversations at work. And that's why I said earlier in the show that the owner of the business said that he is more concerned that she didn't answer, the wife didn't answer her phone. And that just seems absolutely absurd to say when it's really just your coworker that you're worried about. I mean, that's what you're worried about. And all of a sudden, it's more concerning that the wife didn't answer. That just doesn't make sense. I don't care how you try to explain it. It just doesn't make as much sense. All right. Anyways, so that's that. And then from outside the house, it looks like this right over here. See, it's pretty big. It's like, imagine somebody standing in the stairs. They could easily fit and be less wide than the window, right? If you compare the stairs, they step down there, open it up, and they just kind of get in. I think that's actually meant to get out of there, that window there. I mean, I think that's an escape route out of the basement. The way that was built. What do you guys think? What window? What are you guys talking about? He just knocked on the door and she answered and took them, like, I don't know. He knocks on the door at 3:45 and she just opens it up with a weirdo stalker X. It just doesn't seem very likely. And how hard would you have to pound on that back door to get somebody to hear you upstairs? I mean, hell, you're going to wake up the neighbors pounding on it? I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't answer the door at any time like that. I don't know. When you say zoom in, I was thinking of saving the images out, but I don't know how clear. I think these are all really small, and they have blinds on them, so I just doubt he would go through something like that. The window that makes the most sense is the one we were looking at. This one. Look at that. There's no blinds. That one doesn't have a blind, but some of the others did. This one makes the most sense, right? Let's see. All right, if we can get 4 more channel memberships, I'll donate. Or if we get 5 more, I'll donate 5. Okay. That's all I'm looking for. If we get 5 more memberships, I'll donate 5. Let's see. 1, 12. I think that one's the one. That one right there is this one, I think. That makes sense. But that one is this one. Yeah. And then this one here is that one. And then this one is off to the right here. You can't see it. Actually, hold on. Nah, because, wow, that's weird. So I think that one is probably, maybe, nah, I don't think it's that one. I think there's another window right there, maybe. Hold on. Yeah, so I think there might be another window just to the right of that. I don't know. That's kind of weird. It's interesting. Got that. Any takers, you guys? I need 5 more memberships or 25 in super chats, and then I'll donate 5 memberships out of my own. There's keypads on the back of the house and the front of the house. And what would it matter if there was any inside? Let's see, if we go to here, I'm not sure if it's any clearer. Could be though. Let's see. Yeah, it's just blurry. It does nothing. Not any clear. You're just zooming in on pixels. But I don't know. Maybe that's just... there's got to be a way that you can actually just open it up. Because I'm pretty sure that's the escape window from the basement. I know, but why though? Why do you care if there's one inside the house? I always like when people explain what they're saying instead of, I'm not a robot where I just do what people, hey, do this. You know, kind of explain what you're thinking, and then I'll think, oh, okay, yeah, let's go check. Yeah, maybe it swings open. Not sure. You know, I couldn't see the hinges on it. No, that doesn't mean that, KK. You have to set it up to have it do that. I'm not sure they have the back door on here. Let's see. They might. I think that might be over here. Yeah. Hold on, let's see. See that house back there? Let's see. Is that... We go... Yeah, see? That's that one. Yeah, and it's looking right over the right-hand side. So basically, that door is looking... It's over theirs, and then to that house. I'm pretty sure it's this one right there. See that? And there should be like a telephone pole. Oh man, don't leave me hanging on my challenge, you guys. We always have this. When I do the challenge, forget it. All right, where's the telephone pole? Yeah, it's this one right there. That's through the window. And so, yeah, that door was right there. We aren't seeing it, though. It's around the corner right there. That's the back door. Right? I guess we could tell. So there's a door and then a window. Door and the window. Yep, right there. God, if that camera panned just to the left, you'd see it. Man, that's crazy. That door is right there. That's the front. And I don't know if, do they come with keypads or does somebody put them in there? Hey, look at that. We've got Candy Nedwards. That's one of them. We need 4 more. All right, there you can see it in that one. Let's see. That's not going to get any clearer. You can't see the side of the door on that one. KK, it's back there though. Back there. That one's almost got it. Yeah, nope. Nothing. Bill said it was him, especially when 911 caller. Right, that's what I said earlier. Hey, thanks, Eagle, Stars and Stripes. Very cool. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Let's see. Here we go. And there we go. Right, it's a window and door. Yeah. So I mean, I just think it's like, what are the odds he goes through the door when he'd have to have the keypad to get in there? And I bet you it makes a sound when you go through there. Like don't these alarms a lot of times make a sound on your alarm system? Like, oh, hey, somebody opened the door. I mean, you have to have those turned on, I guess. But I don't know. It just seems more likely he got in some other way. But, maybe that's part of the case where they figured out how he got the number. Yeah, hear me out. I don't want to do the hear. I can't stand when people say "hear me out." It's always some garbage story after that. Yeah, sure. He got a hold of the email. Yep, anything's possible, and he somehow wrote it in the email. He emailed the code to some. I guess over the years he hacked into her email and he sent her an email about something to do with the divorce. It was ended up giving him access to her email. And then inside of all the emails she sent over the years, there's the code in there. I guess anything's possible. I mean, that's something we've all thought of. It just seems like it's so remote out there. But however, like I said, in the Kendra Hatcher case, she did something like that where she was able to track the GPS location of Kendra. Brenda was able to track Kendra Hatcher's phone as it was moving around because she sent emails. But yeah, I mean, it's, that's something we thought of earlier. I know I've already thought of it myself. I just don't bring up stuff that doesn't seem like it's incredibly likely. I mean, we could sit here and say 1,000 different things. Hey, maybe she wrote it down. He was following her and she threw it in a trash can after letting somebody see it, and then he collected it from the garbage. Okay, yeah. Hey, maybe he tapped her phone and he heard her say it to somebody. We could come up with 17,000 of them. I just don't know how, without having the probable cause document, we're just left to wildly speculate, right? Well, it happened to you. Why are you emailing people codes, Julie? That sounds crazy. Windows 1,000 times. Looked over his shoulder. Let's see. yeah, he was at the supermarket, Paulette. She pulled out her wallet and started writing down something, and he noticed there was this odd-looking code. Right above it, it said, keypad to back door. And he was just stunned at his good fortune. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, I'm not saying, like what Julie said, that's something I've thought of. I'm sure many of you thought of too, that the email was hacked, right? But, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I guess what we're waiting for right now is the almighty sealed probable cause, or, arrest warrant or probable cause document, not the summary. Because then they're going to have all kinds of information. They still might not know exactly. Well, they know how he got into the house. I'm sure they are aware of, like, did he go through the door? Did he go through the window? They already have the answer to that question. And not because he left the door open, etc. It's just forensically they can probably tell how he got in. Yeah, I think they do know. I think they know, like, that he went through the front door or he went through the window. I'm not sure yet if they know exactly how or what gave him the ability to do that, if that makes sense. Oh, really, Julie? He's going to drive 6 hours to use an anniversary? Just guess at an anniversary, and it's hers? How do you know it wasn't his? Wow, that's foolish that you did it that way. Yeah, but I just don't understand why. What you think that he would drive 6 hours and hope to God that he can guess a code? That just seems really like incredibly unlikely. All right, let's see. Let's go do. So that question was, how did Michael McKee allegedly get into the house? I think most people think. I think based on some of the stuff we've been reporting, I found out where the surveillance was, etc., that most people think he went through the back of the house. And then most people think he went through the sunken window, although, we just don't know. He could have somehow knew the code and went through the back door. So that's out there, right? And he walked down this alley, and he either went over this little fence or that little fence. That's the only two ways to get in. I don't know, Gray. Maybe he jumped into this yard and then jumped over this fence, you bastard. Sure, yeah, anything's, quote, possible. Yeah. Let's see. Turns off the alarm system, or would that be a different code? Well, I mean, the code, yeah, turns it off so he can get in, but you would think that it would beep or something in the house doing that. never good using a birthday. It's, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it really isn't. I mean, I don't know who the hell would ever do that. I'm going to use the code to my birthday. All right, let's switch the question now. Oh, oops. How important, this is my segment. How important will the surveillance video be in the case? And I said, I think it's extremely important. I mean, in fact, I think it's kind of almost, kind of makes the case, really. It's, if they have the surveillance footage where they are able to track him back to his car, coming to the crime scene and leaving the crime scene, then back to the car, then they trace that car all the way back to his house, I don't know if there's a way to escape that. You know, it's just, it's really, really damning. I think it's incredibly important. And I think they have them on multiple cameras. I don't think there's a lot of cameras right here that have them. You know, for example, even this spot right here, when you get, oh wait, I've got the screen messed up again. See, this is the one that he pointed out today, but see that camera right there? They might have him, but what if he went right there? That camera might not have much at all. I mean, it would just be a really shitty, you know, like he comes down here and he turns right there. That's quite a ways away, and it just wouldn't be clear, and it's not something they would release. But that camera here, if it was working, likely can prove that he went back behind the house. That one camera there. And that's it. And apparently there's another one. I think we even saw that the other day over there or something like that. Hey, thank you, Marine Co. Well, then, I mean, when you say overthinking, what are you thinking? Install, or it's all my fault? What do you think? I don't think he used the keypad myself. Although, I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I'm like 60-40. He used the 40% keypad, or 60 he went into the window down below. Let's hear what you got to say there. It's all my fault. I'm sure it's really interesting. Yeah, so if you read the, where's that? Oh yeah, I got to open that up again because I had to reboot. Well, I don't know if I want to open that up again. There it is. Yeah, so over here it says on December 30th, 2025 at 9:57 a.m. And actually, that's only 3 months after a notation in the divorce documents showed up. Some sort of a reference. Columbia Police patrol officers were dispatched to the house on a check of the well-being of a Dr. Spncer Tepe, who had not shown up for work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from a gunshot wound, or suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children were found inside the home unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic number 7 responded and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. Columbus Police Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. During the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. Okay, so they're looking at him. That's a suspect. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicide. So they were able to, on surveillance, see a car pull up, and he gets out of it. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. So, I mean, that's amazing. You see, what I think is they already knew Michael McKee's name. And when they saw the car and the make and model of it, they went, oh, you know, that's how they were able to link it. Unless they somehow had a great surveillance shot that had the license plate. But it says detectives were able to identify this vehicle further. So that's identifies. That's a pretty strong term. And they linked it to Michael McKee. So, yeah, I wonder if they got like a partial plate and it matches the person of interest that was mentioned to them. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois. So after, you know, the murders happened, he drove home, and before anybody even found out about it, he was already back home. So the murders happened at 3:52, and then 6 hours later, he was probably almost home by the time police even entered the home. So then later, after they identified that as being his vehicle, they drove all the way to Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle. Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle. I wonder what that means, you know. Well, no, let me finish the sentence. And found evidence of McKee in possession of vehicle prior to and after the homicide. So I thought maybe that was the toll readers, you know, when you're driving over. Yeah, well, that's precise because they have the gunshot audio on cameras, Julie. That's why it's so precise, because they actually hear the gunshot sounds at 3:52. But anyways, you guys, if you're out there and you want to help support the channel, that would be great. It'd be great to get some more memberships. We're just kind of at just snuck over the low minimum. I think it's a finished basement. Yeah, we already know that, Julie. We've gone over that multiple times. Let's see. That could be... What do you mean it says she was shot multiple... He was. Where does it say that she was shot multiple times? I don't see that anywhere. Maybe that's something new. But we have that he was shot multiple times and she was shot in the chest. Once. That's what they originally said. Well, all it's saying is that they found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. So that would be like toll booths. Could be anything, you know. You know, maybe it is receipts like Lisa's saying there from fast food on the drive. I mean, but he has to go through tolls, so there'd be like that little piece of paper you get. Ah, jeez, Julie. I don't know, Julie. I'll have to go check. He had the gun out, tells him to go upstairs, wakes Monique up, watch him. Yeah, well, I already said that I think he killed Spncer first, made her watch, and then killed Monique. I've said that for a week at this point. So we need to, you know, when you're watching my show, remember where you got the idea. I don't know if he was at a Chick-fil-A. I mean, how do we know if he was at a Chick-fil-A or not? I think he wanted Monique to watch Spncer get shot so that she could feel how he felt. Where losing, you know, she being the person he lost. No, I didn't say that. You're wrong. It's all my fault. Sorry for your confusion. I did not say that. I was talking about something else you said, probably. Yeah, because I've been saying that for days. Put a 1 if you've heard me say that. I think that he killed Spncer first and had Monique watch it. How many days have I been saying that? If you laugh one more time, it's all my fault. I'm removing you because that's not what happened. You're making something up. You're being a troll. There's no way in hell I did that. Yeah, I've said this for like, I don't know, 4 days now at least. Yeah, Tyler Robinson was at Dairy Queen. Yeah, definitely didn't get you, get it from, say that to your comment. You might have said something else that I was talking about, but there's no way in hell. Yeah, it was more than 4 days. It's probably since the beginning. You know, because I said it was an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend of Monique since day one. All right. Yeah. So there's no reason that I would go, oh, that's bullshit. Why would I say that when I've already said that? That'd be wild. That'd be crazy. Okay, well, I'm just saying when you keep saying that I said something I didn't say, okay? So, you need to quit doing that. What do you mean, no, it's all my fault? What are you talking about? Yeah, you probably made other comments that I was referring to. I don't remember you mentioning that whatsoever. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling you right now. I did not say that last night regarding a comment about that. I'm the only one that I've heard it said from since I said it until you just typed it in above. I don't read all of your comments, believe it or not. I don't have time. I'm usually presenting stuff on a show. Yeah, so you guys think that the surveillance is going to be important, right? I think it's huge. I think it's kind of the key. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's all my fault. This is what you're a troll. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what trolls say. Okay? That's exactly right. See, what you expect me to do is to pretend that what you said was true. That last night you said the same thing, and I told you, oh, that's bull crap. That's not true. And now that I'm telling you that, you're saying, oh, that's why people don't watch you anymore. Yeah, see, you're just one of the troll community people. My God, this is just, you guys are so passive-aggressive. Can you just give me a break one night, for God's sakes? Go do something else. Make something of your lives. Jesus, it's freaking unbelievable. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. Appreciate it. Yeah, do something. It's just absolutely crazy. Let's see. Does anybody remember that from last night? I mean, there'd be no reason for me to say that since I've already said it 5 times in different shows. It's like, why would I go, oh, that's bullcrap, to the exact same sentence? Hey, it's all my fault. You're being a troll tonight. Do you understand that? I just told you that I wasn't saying that to that comment. Okay? And you aren't going to accept it. You probably made 1,000 comments last night, and I was probably referring to another one because there'd be no reason for me to do that. Jesus. An idiot. Just unbelievable. Yeah, I think the surveillance is absolutely key to the case. Just like was in the Idaho 4 case, they have DNA too, and maybe they have DNA inside the house in this case. All right, let's just do the last one here. And the last one was... Yeah, that's really... I'm not saying you're a troll in general. You are being one tonight, though. Because you just keep going and going, and I've already explained it to you. You made 2 what? What the hell are you even talking about now? Whew, man, this guy's crazy. Then I wasn't talking to you then. Why don't you go back and watch all my other shows and you'll see that I said that, so there'd be no reason to say that. Brown University because it led to John, who knew the license plate. Yeah, that was crazy how that all worked out in that one. All right, here it is. What other evidence will investigators be looking for? That was the other question. What other evidence will investigators be looking for? Yeah. I always get so disappointed with people, you know. Like you come in here, you just want to have a smooth show. Everything seemed to be going pretty good. And then we got these dipshits that claim things that never happened. And then it just sort of sort of puts everything in a crappy light. I'm just getting really tired of it. I think it's going to be Google searches, things he was looking up for sure. People were talking about, oh, there's this way you can use magnets to get in. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, so you've got that. You've got, like what was he doing? The searches are huge, because if he just kept, let's just say he kept watching the wedding video and looking up stuff regarding both of them. It might show stalking. How long was he doing that? That'll be interesting. I also said on CourtTV that the cell phone information, for example, let's say his phone is sitting at home the whole time. And what I said on there is I go, it's amazing how stupid criminals are these days. But let's say he was one of the smarter ones and left his cell phone at home the whole time. Well, then how do you explain that he drove 6 hours and they have him on camera and his car, and he gets back in the car and it is him, that he didn't have his phone with him on a 14-hour round trip? That's even more damning. I mean, nobody does that. There's not a soul that would drive that far if you have a cell phone. That means that's premeditated. Like he left the phone knowing he didn't want to be tracked. So that's what I would do with that. That his phone was turned off during the time because he didn't want anybody to know that he actually left his residence. So let's say the murder happened at, I hadn't really thought of this till just now, but the murder happened at 3:52, and let's say he got there by, let's just say 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, that means he left at like 7 in the evening and drove all the way over there, and he doesn't have his phone with him. And then he commits the murder, drives all the way back, and is probably home at like 11 or 12 the next day. 3:52 plus 7, maybe 10, probably 11-ish. He gets home all the way back. Oh, jeez, the Faraday bag thing. Come on, Jesus. Let's not do the Faraday bag. he's not going to do it. If you look at, why would you bring it in a Faraday bag and have the option to pull it out if you needed to? Then it would give away what you're doing. Faraday bag is what police use to make sure that while they're transporting technology, that somebody doesn't get into it. But other people use it too, Gray. I don't agree. I just think that that's overthinking something a little bit. He could have had a burner phone. Yeah, sure. I don't think so. I think he either had it turned off, he would just turn it off the whole time. Maybe he used one of those cars that has the mapping in it. Was it a rental car that he used? Maybe that's what that means. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further, and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, so they found it in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior. So maybe it was him renting it and then him delivering it is what they've got. So he's the one that was driving the car because he's the one that rented it, and there's surveillance footage of him renting the vehicle at the rental shop. Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be absolutely nuts. But, not a bad idea there, Bad Juju, but it's just, I don't know. Faraday bag? I don't think so. But hey, I'll tell you what. I'll send you, I still got my notebooks to be sending out here. I'm trying to get more people to get them, but if we only got like 4 or 5 to send out, I like to do like 10 at a time, but I think I'll just be sending some out here pretty soon. Got to send one to Marty's Bar and Grill and other people. Yeah, he used his own car? Okay. Well, where do we get that information from, that he used his own car? Where do you see that? Oh, let me read up above. Columbus Police Homicide Unit was advised. During the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood surveillance video. The suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicide and left shortly after the homicide. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicide. See, that's sort of interesting. Why are they going through all this rigmarole and this sentencing unless it was a rental car, right? Because wouldn't you just say, and the vehicle that we spotted in Columbus was identified as Michael's vehicle based on the license plate? It's just kind of weird how they're saying that the vehicle that was almost like the vehicle that was used in the homicide, we're able to prove that he had prior to and after. So I don't know. Maybe it is his car, but that is sort of interesting how they're wording that, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, so Google. Man, if you Googled it, it has to be true. Let's see. What was his... And by the way, the only factual information is this right here, this document. That's it. All the rest of the stuff out there are just somebody saying something. It is interesting how it's worded, right? I know, but who's they? Who? It doesn't say it in the document here. This is the only official document that we've ever received in the case. Let's see. Okay, that's what the Google AI is saying. Let's see what this one says. The big mistake that got Michael McKee arrested in the murder of his ex. The alleged killer surgeon, who has been charged in the murder of Ohio dentist Spncer Tepe and his wife Monique, was identified after police tracked. It just says, they say his vehicle, but how do we know that? Let's see. Through neighborhood surveillance close to the couple's home, according to the court documents. Now, see, the court documents don't say that. They don't say that at all. And so, Michael David McKee, 39, a doctor from Chicago, was arrested in the execution killing of his... See, here's the problem with that AI and stuff like that is this document here is incorrectly attributing that that's his vehicle. That's weird. That looks like the thing that he went through. Oh, wow. You said it. You said he couldn't fit through there. Look at that. A bear fit through that damn hole there. Look at that. Yeah, well, it could be that he got sued, and that made him, he got sued, and it made him snap, because then his whole life was ruined, and then he just wanted to exact his, well, I don't know what it was, his jealousy, rage, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, but see, this article here said that they tracked his vehicle, and then they say, according to court documents. But that's not accurate, is it? That's not accurate, is it? McKee's car arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after. See, but they're not saying that. Detectives noted in the court documents, adding that the vehicle was later found near his workplace in Rockford. They didn't say that either. They didn't say near his... I mean, they said Rockford, but they didn't use the word near or anything. We just read it. This is all there was in the document. This thing right here. So this is a lot of assuming by people. He was living in Virginia at the time of the divorce. I don't know. Let's see. See, up here it says, it does say by the Google search thing, it says... Yes, Michael McKee used his own vehicle during the incident, which served as a key piece of evidence leading to his arrest. Columbus investigators tracked a vehicle using surveillance footage that arrived near the Ohio home to Monique. And let's use ChatGPT. Hold on. Did Michael? I have the paid version. Michael McKee use his own vehicle when he killed Spncer and Monique Tepe. It'll probably say yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Can you give me an example of where? Let's see. Authorities said that. Now they they didn't. Okay. I think you might be wrong here. This is what the court document actually said. Hold on. Where the hell is that? In here. Okay, I'll have to type it in. It said, Columbus Police Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded. I don't even need that part. Let me go to the next part. It said, okay, during. Oh, you can't hear me again? Oh. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't hear me? I'm right here. Okay, I don't care if you can hear ChatGPT or not. Just let me just do what I'm doing. I can turn this thing on now, okay? All right, during, Jesus, now I'm just all just, you guys are just so demanding on every little, during the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. How do we... Okay, homicides. Let me just throw that in there. You're right.
You're right to push back. That quoted language does not say he used his own vehicle in the sense of ownership registration title. It says, they ID'd a suspect via neighborhood surveillance. They tracked that suspect to a vehicle that arrived just before, left just after. They linked that vehicle to Michael McKee. They later located the vehicle in Rockford and found evidence he was in possession of it before and after the homicides. That strong vehicle tied to him. He had it wording, but it's not the same as his personal car or registered to him.
Right.
So the most accurate way to phrase it, based on what you pasted, is, authorities say the suspect vehicle was linked to McKee and that he possessed it before and after the killings. But the document, as quoted, doesn't explicitly claim it was registered owned by him.
See?
If you want, paste the caption,
Yeah.
header page, case
That's
name
right.
plus
Exact-
court
that's
plus
exactly
filing
right.
type,
That's exactly
or
right.
the line right before after that paragraph, and I can help you word a clean, defensible
So
on-air
based-
summary
so
that
based
won't overclaim
on-
ownership.
This information, how likely is it that he merely rented the vehicle? Oh yeah, hold on. Use bro mode. Let's get some of that going again. Here we go.
Alright, bro mode on. Let's break this down clean and real, based only on what that court language actually says. Short answer. It's possible he rented it, but it's not the most likely scenario. Here's why. That paragraph is doing something very specific legally. They never say his vehicle. They never say registered to McKee. They never say owned by McKee. They very carefully say, linked it to Michael McKee.
Right.
Evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle
Right.
prior
That's why it's
to and
more
after.
likely rented.
That wording is intentional. Prosecutors don't waste words. Rental theory. Plausible, but with problems. Could it be a rental? Yes, technically. But here's where it starts to wobble. Rental cars are easy to say out loud. If it was Hertz, Enterprise, Avis, they usually just say. Records showed McKee rented the vehicle. That's cleaner and stronger PC language.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, but this was a summary of a probable cause where they didn't get into detail.
Yep, that's a totally fair point, and you're thinking about it the right way. Still in bro mode. You're absolutely right that this paragraph is a high-level probable cause summary, not a deep dive. That changes how much we should read into the wording. So adjusting for that reality. Because this is a summary PC, the lack of detail does not mean they didn't know ownership, or that it wasn't registered to him, or that it was intentionally vague to hide something. Just means they didn't need to get into it yet. Probable cause equal to minimum facts needed to justify arrest. Reevaluating the rental possibility with that in mind. Once we factor in summary PC framing, here's the updated likelihood. Rental car? Still possible, but not strongly suggested either way. At this stage, cops care about control of the vehicle, timing, movement.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, but let's see. We're able to identify the... Yeah. But a rental car would make it easy to identify the vehicle. Let's see. Vehicle prior to the murder. Let's see. Easy to link him to the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Right? So there you go.
Yes, exactly. Bro mode, straight talk. You're absolutely right. And this is an important correction to the earlier rental is less likely instinct. Why a rental actually fits that sentence very well. If the vehicle was a rental, it would be one of the easiest vehicles on Earth to link to him prior to the homicides. Link to him after the homicides. Because rentals give you signed contracts, timestamps,
See that you can actually
pick up location,
with
return or non-return time.
It's crazy.
Sometimes GPS, toll, plate reader hits. So the line found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Reads perfectly clean if it was a rental. No stretch at all. Why cops might still phrase it this way in a PC summary. Even if it was a rental, the PC writer might avoid clutter. Avoid naming third parties, rental company. Keep it tight and generic. Save details for affidavit, discovery.
See?
So they stick with. Linked it to McKee. Possession before and after. That language works regardless of ownership type. Re-ranking probabilities now that you nailed this point. Accounting for summary PC. Ease of proof with rentals. Neutral wording. No explicit registered to. Updated bro math. Rental vehicle, 30 to 40%. Personal, regularly used vehicle, 30 to 40%. Borrowed vehicle, 20 to 25%.
Yeah.
Rental is very much in play, not a fringe idea. Key takeaway. This is the soundbite. A rental car would actually make it easier, not harder, for investigators to say McKee was in possession of the vehicle before and after the murders.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's exactly right. So let's see. So what evidence is there online from law enforcement that the vehicle was McKee's vehicle directly? I mean, was his vehicle. With this vague language, how can we be certain? Can you find any other quotes out there? The thing is, these newspaper articles, they don't care. They just assume shit. And that's what we all hear. I'm just having a conversation right here, and ChatGPT is starting to be like, I guess it doesn't really say that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it could be all kinds of things, you guys. We could sit there and type in, it could be this, could be that, like 100. You know, maybe it's his cousin's wife's sister's dog walker's car. Guess we're just not sure at this point.
Yeah. With the court summary language you posted, we can't be certain it was McKee's vehicle in the ownership registration sense, unless law enforcement, or the actual affidavit warrant, explicitly says that
Right.
what we can do is separate.
Exactly.
Link to, in possession of, strong, but not ownership, versus his vehicle, ownership of the vehicle, ownership claim.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
What I can find online that
Right,
sounds like
exactly.
law enforcement calling it his
It says
vehicle.
linked to.
Fox News, quoting, characterizing the court docs, uses ownership-type language.
Right.
McKee's car arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after.
Yeah.
Fox News.
Right.
It also reports, detectives
Exactly.
found evidence McKee had been in ownership of the vehicle. Fox News. Fox 32 Chicago similarly says investigators
Where
tracked
is
his
that?
vehicle from the scene, across state lines. Fox 32 Chicago.
I mean, aren't you guys see what I'm saying here? It's really frustrating. Let's look at this. They're quoting all of these people who read the same damn thing that we read, and there isn't anywhere in here that suggests at all that that's his vehicle. It just says, during the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through a neighborhood video surveillance. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle, not his vehicle, which arrived just prior to the homicides. Well, I guess at that point it was just they tracked that person to a vehicle. So it's okay that they didn't say his vehicle. And it arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Not identify it as Michael McKee's vehicle. It says, and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle, so they identified it while it was there in town, and they were like, oh, wow, okay, look at this car. It's a driver's license. Ooh, it's a rental car. They call the place HEP. Oh, yeah, this is rented by a Michael McKee. Okay, great. Then detectives located that very same vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of, well, I guess the way you could look at it is, how did they identify it in Columbus, Ohio, and then need to then go find the vehicle to then, I mean, that's sort of interesting. That's sort of, that helps in some way that it being his vehicle. Let's see, detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. So that means even before they went to Rockford, they knew it was his car. And then when they went there, okay, yeah, right. So they go, oh, he rented it. See, look at it like this. So they find his car there, and it's a license plate. The one that he went to, they find the license plate. And then they called the rental, like the car, they see, ooh, this is owned by a rental car agency. They call the rental car agency, and they said, we rented that to Michael McKee. And then they go, oh, that's when they linked it to him. Then detectives located the actual vehicle in Rockville, Illinois. And then when they were at the rental place, they found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Actual, like, here's him returning the key, like maybe there's videotape, etc. I don't know. I don't know anywhere in there that it says that it's his vehicle. Do you guys see that? Make the case in there. I don't see it at all. I'd be right on your bandwagon, except I don't see it here. It might be his car, but there's no way that all these news outlets that keep saying that's his car can possibly know that based on that writing right there. And this is the only thing that we've ever got. Yeah, it's actually more, to me, the writing here is a lot more consistent with it being a rental car, to be honest with you. Because I'm just trying to think, like, let's say it was his car, all right? Detectives were able to identify the vehicle further. So I guess, my other scenario was that they found toll booth stuff in the actual car when they got there, and it shows that he had to go over a certain toll booth in different places, and then he had to go back over the same ones on the way back, and maybe they found that in the car. But detectives were able to identify the vehicle. Okay, so this suspect tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly afterwards. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. So they went, okay, yeah, they're able to identify it. So let's say at that point it is his car. They linked it to him. And then detectives located his vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence in that car that McKee was in possession of his own car prior to and after the homicides. I mean that's true, but what weird wording here. McKee was in possession of the vehicle, not his vehicle. Yeah. Yeah, why does it say in possession of the vehicle and not his vehicle? Let's see what it said.
Bro, this is a great catch, and the answer is way more about legal writing discipline than secret meaning. Bro mode engaged. Why it says the vehicle and not his vehicle.
Thanks.
One legal document avoid ownership claims unless necessary. In probable cause, especially a summary PC, writers avoid asserting legal conclusions they don't need yet. Calling it his vehicle can imply legal ownership, registration,
But it is his.
title,
If it is his, then it's his.
leasing rights. If ownership isn't required to establish probable cause, they don't assert it. So they stick with
I don't know about
the vehicle equal to the specific car already identified earlier. That's standard, conservative legal drafting. The vehicle is a defined object. Once they introduce it as a vehicle which arrived just prior, it becomes a defined noun. From that point on, the vehicle equal to that same car. No need to restate ownership every time. This is extremely common in affidavits.
Okay.
3 possession matters more than ownership. For PC, prosecutors only need to show
Right.
control,
But if it was
access,
his, wouldn't it just be
timing,
sort of automatic? Like,
possession
we would
equal
just
to
say
enough to link him to the crime scene.
If it's his, it's
Ownership
his,
equal
right?
to extra, unnecessary at this stage.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
evidence of McKee in possession of the
Okay,
vehicle.
I think in a probable cause document, saying, it's his vehicle and he was linked to it is way more powerful than just saying, we are able to link him to a vehicle. This, I don't know. It just seems like, why wouldn't you put that in there?
Vehicle prior to and after is legally stronger and safer than his vehicle. 4. It protects the case. If later evidence shows rental, lease, borrowed car, shared registration, calling it his vehicle too early can create defense leverage, impeachment, motion fodder. Using the vehicle keeps every option open. What this wording does tell us, important. Even with conservative drafting, it still says, same vehicle before and after. Sustained control. Not incidental contact. Not unknown driver. That's intentional. What it does not tell us, also important. It does not confirm ownership, registration, rental versus personal, whose name is on the title. And that's okay. It's not trying to. Clip-ready explanation, perfect for your audience. The document says the vehicle instead of his vehicle, because probable cause focuses on possession and control, not ownership. Legally, they don't need to claim ownership yet, just that the same vehicle tied to the crime was in his possession before.
Yeah, maybe that's good to be able to do later. Like you can just say, yeah, we tied it to him, and then, oh, by the way, it's his car. Yeah, tying it to him is probably more important than him owning it. I don't know, but it's almost like ChatGPT's overthinking this a little bit. Now, he was in court today, by the way. See that? Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah, so all good names taken again. I feel like I have to say this every time. The past couple of weeks, make sure it's on all messages and not top. Yeah, you want it. Well, it's not all. It's called live chat. You don't want it on top chat. You want it on live chat, which I always seem to forget myself.
Third quarter, the defendant is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record?
Michael McKee.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor. To counsel, I will assert his right to remain silent.
Like a pretty big guy.
And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio, extradition to Ohio.
Understood, thank you.
He looks
We will
like,
set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday.
I guess you can't see how wide he is
Status
from
on
the
the transfer.
surveillance. Well, there he is. There he is. Mm-hmm. What? Those shoulders. Yeah, he didn't go through the doggy door. He went through maybe that window. Well, anyways, you guys, I think that's it. You know, I don't have much more to do here. We got 10 more minutes. What else we got? We got to get to 3 hours. Well, he didn't used to look like that. I actually found, yeah, that's what I was going to go look at under his name. Michael McKee. Yeah, so I have these. Yeah, he's 6 foot. So it's not really that tall. And he only weighs 200 at 6 feet, so that's not huge or anything. Oh yeah, so let's see. You know, he had an Instagram. I had a picture of him too. Yeah, like this one here. Has anybody seen that one before? That one? That was on his accounts, like Dropbox and Google. Right there. So he looks more normal in these pictures here. And then he had Foursquare, Dropbox, all of these different things. A lot of stuff. Yeah, it might have just been. A lot of times cameras make people look different. Anyways, thanks, mods, for all you guys do. Make sure you guys catch the troll comments quicker, though. I need those just because I don't want to have to deal with them. When you guys leave them up for 30, 40, a minute or so, then I have to actually acknowledge and respond to them. Okay? I have to actually, because people read it, and then I got to respond to what they're saying. So I need you guys to get those a little quicker. Bob from the, what's one of the funniest movies ever is What About Bob? You guys ever seen that thing? Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray. That thing is just absolutely hilarious. Like how Richard Dreyfuss just becomes, like, as my mom would say, apoplectic. Freaks out. Yeah, I mean, it's not on as much as it should be. That thing is so good. It's freaking awesome. Kind of just takes over his whole life and everything. Yeah. And it's just Richard Dreyfuss, especially that one scene where he's like blinking because he's just so, like, he really can't say anything anymore. Oh yeah, you got to check it out, Chris O'Connell. But you guys got me covered there. Get rid of those troll comments quicker. Troll comments are the people who come in and they say stuff that isn't true, or make a disparaging remark, and it just sits there. You know, it just sits there for, and I want to avoid that because I don't even want to talk about it. But when they sit there, like I said, for a minute or so, then I have to say something because people in the chat read it. And then I have to sort of, oh yeah, this, you know. Do you guys hear me? Yeah, that's right. When he's just sitting there blinking at the end. I think it's when it's right before, oh yeah, he sort of, right before his birthday thing. You know, like he didn't even know, like all this crap happened, and then he shows up for his surprise birthday party. It's just, he's already so devastated, you know. Oh, yeah? Yeah, we could do that. Let's see. Maybe it'll remember me. Chat GPT, let's see. Yeah, maybe for a couple super chats, you know. Let's do bro mode and update how Brian Koberger's eyebrows are doing in prison. Use previous conversations regarding that. Probably already knew that part, but let's see.
Bro mode. Eyebrow check-in from the yard. Alright bro, here's the official, highly scientific eyebrow status update based on all prior investigative eyebrow lore we've established. Brian Koberger eyebrow status. Prison edition. Condition. Still present. Still aggressive. Still acting independently. Density. Unchanged. These things are max security follicles. Razor resistant. Probably unionized. Behavior. Eyebrows reportedly. Maintain permanent confused but superior arch. Occasionally attempt to intimidate corrections officers. May be communicating silently with each other across the forehead. Maintenance. No evidence of trimming. Prison barbers allegedly refuse jurisdiction. One guard rumored to have said, "Those aren't eyebrows. That's a mindset. Psychological impact, very real, very serious." Inmates, unsettled. Guards, avoid direct eye contact. Mirrors, filed complaints. Eyebrows, still think they're the smartest thing in the room. Overall verdict. Justice system, contained. Freedom, revoked. Eyebrows, undefeated. Bro, if the Bureau of Prisons ever loses power, those eyebrows are generating their own electricity. If you want next update to include eyebrow appeal filing, eyebrow appearing before the parole board, or eyebrows getting their own mugshot.
Is it possible
just say the word.
that Koberger is innocent and it was the eyebrows that committed the crime? See, it actually gets humor. That's the crazy part about this thing.
Bro. Mode legal theory. Alert. Short answer, yes. Long answer, also yes, but with footnotes. Let's break this down strictly hypothetically. The eyebrow separation defense. Is it possible that Brian Koberger is innocent, and the eyebrows acted alone? From a purely bro science plus late night YouTube comment perspective. Motive. Those eyebrows have always projected arrogance. Superiority. I read one more criminology book than you energy. Plenty of motive. Means. Let's be honest.
Hey, thanks, Bruce.
Dense. Sharp angles. Could conceal secrets. Probably capable of independent thought. No one's checked under them. That's on law enforcement. Opportunity. Eyebrows are. Always at the scene. Never clocked in or out. Impossible to alibi. That's suspicious. Legal complications. Unfortunately, the justice system is not ready for follicle-level indictments. Severance motion separating man from brow. Jury instructions explaining mens rea, but only north of the eyes. The court keeps insisting on this outdated concept of one consciousness per defendant. Weak. Probable cause, bro version. If this went to trial. Defense, my client lost control of the eyebrows years ago. Prosecution, the eyebrows reflect intent. Judge, counsel, stop pointing at the eyebrows. Jury, still staring at them. Final bro verdict. Innocent man framed by eyebrows? Plausible in comments. Eyebrows acting alone? Emotionally convincing. Court accepting it? 0% chance. Eyebrows remaining the most intimidating entity in the room? 100% confirmed. If you want, next episode we can cover. Eyebrows filing a pro se motion. Eyebrows demanding separate counsel. Or Eyebrows v. the State. Netflix limited series. Just say it, bro.
How do you think Kohberger's birthing hips affected the case? Let's see what it says.
Bro mode activated. Anatomy and Attitude Edition. Alright, I'm assuming by birthing hymns you mean the long-running bro theory formerly known as birthing hips, also known as the unexpectedly wide power stance pelvis situation.
Yeah.
Let's break down how that theoretically played into the case. The birthing hips effect on the case. Regarding Brian Kohberger. One jury perception, underrated factor. Wide stance equal to looks planted, rigid, immovable. Not exactly giving off frail, misunderstood grad student vibes. More like, this guy stands like he's bracing for a wind tunnel. That matters. Jurors notice posture and proportions whether they admit it or not. 2 courtroom body language. Those hips allegedly contributed to the permanent square-up stance, minimal sway, 0 nervous shifting, which translates subconsciously to confidence, control, or cold detachment, none of which help when you want sympathy. 3. The silhouette problem. Between the eyebrows, north, the hips, south, and the emotionless midsection, no man's land. You get a silhouette that screams, I'm standing exactly where I intend to stand. That's not a neutral silhouette, bro. That's a thumbnail silhouette. 4. Defense strategy missed opportunity. Let's be real. They could have leaned into it. Naturally wide stance due to biomechanics. Maybe brought in an ergonomics expert. Instead, they let the hips just exist. Menacingly. Overall impact, bro scale. Final bro take. Did the birthing hips cause anything? Did they? Add to the intimidating presence. Reinforce the unreadable vibe. Make every courtroom still.
You know, they actually have this down here. This they can read it. I didn't even know this was here. It's pretty good though.
Absolutely. I'm glad you think so. I'm always here to bring the bro
Absolutely, I'm
mode
glad you think
banter
so.
or just regular
I'm
chat, whichever you need.
Wow. You were listening to me?
Yep. I'm here and listening whenever you want to.
Yep, I'm here and listening.
Oh God, that's crazy.
Yeah, it can feel a bit wild when you realize I'm picking up on everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You got it. I'm right.
You got it. I'm
That's wild. I don't even know if I want to have that on there. That's some weird shit right there. I'm gonna ask him a question about Willy Wonka. Hey, in the movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, why was Grandpa Joe able to get up and dance once Charlie found the ticket? Wouldn't that mean he could have been helping? Yeah, I want to see what they say. Could have been helping around the house a bit more prior? Seems pretty shady.
Bro mode activated. Grandpa Joe on trial. Alright, let's talk about one of the shadiest characters in cinema history. In Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
That's it.
Grandpa Joe spends 20 years in bed. Then Charlie finds a golden ticket and suddenly, boom, full mobility unlocked.
Right.
Song and dance routine.
That's
No walker, no warm-up, no physical therapy. Yeah, that's not inspiring. That's suspicious. The Grandpa Joe problem. Was he actually bedridden? Logically, no chance. Medical reality says someone truly bedridden for years would have severe muscle atrophy, balance issues, extreme weakness. Instead, Grandpa Joe jumps up, dances,
yeah, this is perfect.
immediately plans an international walking tour of a chocolate factory. That's not recovery. That's selective paralysis. Could he have helped around the house? Short answer, absolutely. Long answer, he could have. Folded laundry. Watched Charlie while Mom worked. Maybe not smoked a pipe while everyone starved. Instead, he stayed in bed, ate cabbage soup, gave unsolicited advice, then immediately used Charlie's miracle to go have fun. That's weaponized helplessness, bro. Timing equal to guilt. Let's look at the timeline. That's not coincidence. That's motive. Final bro verdict. Was Grandpa Joe physically able to walk before the ticket? Almost certainly. Did he choose not to? 100% yes. Is he one of cinema's most lovable freeloaders? Also yes. Grandpa Joe didn't heal. He revealed himself. If you want next, Grandpa Joe versus modern disability law. Was he gaslighting the whole family? Ranking the most morally questionable characters in kids' movies. Say the word, bro.
I have so much more to say about that. Yeah. In today's woke environment, wouldn't Grandpa Joe be destroyed in the media? Let's see.
Bro mode. Culture war reality check. Short answer? Oh yeah. Grandpa Joe would be absolutely cooked today. Let's put Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory Grandpa Joe into the modern internet ecosystem and watch what happens. Day 1, Twitter, X, meltdown. Trending within 30 minutes. Grandpa Joe exposed. Bed fraud. Ableism or
Hashtag.
laziness. Justice for Charlie's mom. Clips looping endlessly of 20 years bedridden instant tap dance. Captioned. So you could walk the whole time? Day 2, media takedown cycle. Headlines everywhere. Why Grandpa Joe is the real villain of Willy Wonka. Weaponized incompetence in children's cinema. Was Grandpa Joe faking a disability? Think pieces arguing. He exploited a working single mother. He emotionally manipulated a child.
See how that?
He
that's how it would
appropriated
be.
disability for personal
That's
gain.
true, isn't it?
Someone would absolutely write. Grandpa Joe is capitalism in pajama pants. Day 3, TikTok and YouTube autopsies. Body language analysts breaking down the bed to dance transition. Physical therapists saying, this is medically impossible without fraud. 45-minute video essays titled, Grandpa Joe, the original gaslighter. And yes, you'd crush this topic on YouTube. Day 4, cancel discourse. Half the internet. He's a freeloader, cancel him. Other half. You're ableist for
I should
questioning
make a
his
video
lived
on that.
experience.
That'd be hilarious.
Meanwhile, Charlie's mom still working 16 hours a day. Grandpa Joe still vibing. Classic. Final bro take. In 1971, Grandpa Joe equal to quirky, lovable old guy. In 2026, Grandpa Joe equal to problematic, dissected, memeified, possibly deplatformed. Would he survive cancel culture? No chance. Would he still defend himself by saying, you don't understand my journey? Absolutely. If you want next, Grandpa Joe versus modern disability advocacy. Grandpa Joe versus Koberger eyebrows, cross-universe villain ranking. Thumbnail text ideas, the real villain. You know the drill, bro.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, compare Grandpa Joe to Ginger on Gilligan's Island.
Bro mode. Legends under the microscope. Let's put two classic TV movie icons head to head and see who survives modern scrutiny. Grandpa Joe, from Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory. Vibe, selectively incapacitated. Contribution level, near 0, until chocolate appears. Signature move, miraculous recovery. The moment there's a reward. Pros,
Well, Ginger didn't do
emotional
a damn
support
thing, right?
sometimes.
Like she was a
Can
useless-
sing when motivated. Cons, weaponized helplessness. Optics disaster in any era after 1971. Immediately benefits from a child's good fortune. Bro verdict. Grandpa Joe isn't unlucky, he's strategic. If there were Wi-Fi, he'd be recovering until the factory tour bus arrived. Ginger Grant, from Gilligan's Island. Vibe, glamorous under pressure. Contribution level, consistently high.
Oh, no
Signature
way.
move,
She didn't
turns
contribute.
coconuts
Yeah,
into
damn
couture
thing.
and morale into survival. Pros, entertains the entire camp.
Oh, I guess
Uses
she did do
skills to
that.
help others. Never pretends she can't do something.
What skills did she have?
Sometimes dramatic. It's Hollywood, bro. Makes the professor look bad by solving problems with vibes. Bro verdict. Ginger adapts. She doesn't wait for rescue. She creates culture on a desert island. Head to head, who ages better? Final bro take.
I think
If dropped into 2026, Grandpa Joe gets exposed on day 1, trend cycled and meme tried by noon. Ginger gets rebranded as a resilient creator thriving in adverse conditions. Same era. Same nostalgia.
Anybody agree with that? I thought Ginger was a useless character on that show. Let's see. Marianne, though, she was good. Let's see. Make a meme of Grandpa Joe. There we go. Let's see what it comes up with. Gotta love that about ChatGPT. I guess I could do Snoop Dogg. $20 years in bed. Gets a golden... Look at that thing. 20 years in bed. I'm going to put that on Twitter right now. Let's just do it for the hell of it. Okay, hold on. Let me put it up there. Let's do it, man. I want to see what people think, because I've always thought that. I go, what are you doing, Grandpa Joe? I mean, you could have been helping out all those years. A golden ticket shouldn't be the one. All right, there it is. Boom. That's actually pretty good. Look at this thing. Look at that. 20 years in bed. Look at that face they got on that guy. Gets a golden ticket. Boom. I can't walk, Charlie. It's a miracle time. The oldest scam in the book. That's like the greatest thing in the world. Look at this thing. Yeah. Look at that thing. That's just so good. Oh, man. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know where the voice thing is. It used to be. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hey, were you as embarrassed as I was when Peter on the Brady Bunch wanted a new personality and picked Humphrey Bogart and started talking like a fool? All right, let's see.
Bro mode. Secondhand embarrassment Hall of Fame. Oh, bro. Yes. That scene is painful in a way only 1970s TV could
achieve. When Peter Brady, from the Brady Bunch, decides he needs a new personality and chooses Humphrey Bogart, What follows is peak cringe, weaponized awkwardness, childhood trauma for anyone watching with parents in the room. What made IT so bad? One, the voice, that fake Bogart growl. Not accurate, not subtle. Sounded like a kid doing a parody of a parody. Every line landed like, why is this happening? And why won't it stop? Two, the confidence. The worst part, Peter thought he was nailing it. Nothing is more embarrassing than a bad impression delivered with full commitment in front of his siblings while adults politely nod. That's social suicide, bro. Sand the lesson delivery. And then, of course, the Brady hammer drops. Just be yourself, Peter. Yeah, thanks, Carol. We had to endure Bogart Peter to get there. Comparison scale, old metric. This was turn the TV down embarrassment, not off down. So no one thought it was your idea. Final bro take. Was it wholesome? Yes. Was it well-intentioned? Sure. Was it brutal to watch even as a kid? Absolutely not okay. That episode permanently taught an entire generation. Never try on a personality in public. If you want next, cringiest Brady Bunch moments rank. Worst TV impressions ever attempted by
Isn't that
kids.
cool that it
Grandpa
knows
Joe
all that?
versus
Just
Bogart
crazy,
Peter. Made it harder
mundane,
to watch.
yeah.
Say the word bro.
Let's see. Hey, which song was better on the Brady Bunch? Time to Change, or what was the other one called? There was like Time to Change, and there's one, the Silver. Let's see. What's the other song? I'll just say which are the best Brady Bunch songs, including Time to Change, when again Peter's voice was changing and they added that crappy sound. All right, let's see. Yeah, Sunshine Day. That's right. Sunshiny Day. Yeah. Ah, yes. The
Bro mode, Brady Bunch music power rankings. Ah, yes. The era when America decided every sitcom family should also be a band. And when Peter's voice cracked, ABC was like, slap a sound effect on IT. Brutal. Here are the best Brady Bunch songs, cringe included, with Time to Change right where it belongs. Time to Change. Time to Change. From the Brady Bunch. Why it's iconic and painful. Written specifically to explain Peter's puberty. That awful voice crack sound effect is basically a war crime. Yet, it's catchy as hell. When it's time to change.
To change and to rearrange.
Cringe classic. You hate it. You remember every note.
Oh,
It's
here.
a sunshine day. It's a sunshine day. This is the cleanest, least
Silver
embarrassing
platters.
Brady song.
That's from that
Why it
one.
slaps. No gimmicks. No puberty metaphors. Just pure 70s optimism. If Brady songs had a greatest hits album, this is track one. Keep
Oh,
on.
I remember
Keep
Keep
on.
On.
Underrated motivational bop. Pros. Solid harmonies. Actually sounds like a real
Remember that,
pop
the silver
song.
platters?
Doesn't rely on a plot device. Looking at you. Puberty. Cons. Still very. Brady, we can make the world a whole lot brighter.
I
We can
remember
make
that
the
one,
world
too.
a whole lot brighter. Peak wholesome overload. Sung like world peace depends on it. Mike Brady somewhere nodding proudly. Makes you want to recycle even if you don't know why. Honorable mention. But yikes. Am I ever going to see you again? Am I...
All right, what else? Give me what's another one of these things? Let's see. Anyways, I got to get the hell out of here. It was fun, though. Well, that's how it sounded, though, right? Chris O'Connell, who's like, and it's time to change and to rearrange. Oh, yeah. Yeah, why in the world does anyone think Copacabana is even remotely a good song?
Romo Rant, the case against Copacabana. You're not crazy. You're just hearing through the nonsense. Let's talk about Copacabana by Barry Manilow and why people claim it's great. First problem, it's a musical in disguise. This is not a song. This is a community theater crime reenactment with bongos, named characters, plot twists, jealous murder, showgirl trauma arc. Bro, I didn't ask for a novella while ordering a drink. Second problem, fake fun energy. People act like it's upbeat and joyful. But let's review. Dancing, stabbing, dead boyfriend, lonely woman losing her mind. Why are we clapping? This is like putting a disco beat under Dateline. Third problem, the melody never goes anywhere. It just starts loud, stays loud, ends loud. No groove, no pocket. Just theatrical marching. It's music for cruise ships, casino lounges.
Yeah. It's like a... But the song is absolute trash. Likely one of the worst songs ever written. And yet, some people claim it's their favorite song. Do these people need lobotomies? I'm not sure I spelled that right. It'll figure it out, though. I get the
let's
rage.
pump the brakes. And the disco. I get the rage. I feel the rage. But no, people do not need lobotomies. Let's keep this a metaphorical roast, not a medical plan. We're talking about Copacabana by Barry Manilow.
Yeah, I know what
a
you're
song
talking
that
about.
inspires irrational devotion despite being, musically speaking,
It's like
a glitter
scolding
cannon
me.
aimed
It's
at your
scolding me
eardrums.
right now.
Why do some people call IT their favorite song? Not because it's good, because it does things to brains. Here's the breakdown. One nostalgia override. For a lot of folks, it's not a song.
Okay, yeah, I don't... Okay. How about this one? Okay. Can we agree on the song Roller Coaster? That literally is the worst... Well, is at least the second worst song of all time. Hey, let's see. Now you felt my rage. You know that song, Roller Coaster? God,
Bro
what a-
mode agreement reached with conditions. Yes, if, and this is important, we're talking about Roller Coaster by Red Hot Chili Peppers, then bro, we are absolutely on the same page.
I don't know if
I'll
that's
even
the
go
same
further.
one. I don't
It is
think
at
so.
least the second worst song of all time. And that's being generous. Why Roller Coaster I S so bad IT defies physics. One the chorus I S a crime scene. Roller Coaster of Louvre. That line sounds like a jingle rejected by Six
Now,
Flags.
mine was this
sung
one
by
right
someone
here.
who just learned English. Written on a napkin after the good ideas left. It's not catchy.
Yeah, I guess there's another bad song called Roller Coaster, but mine was this one.
Everybody, let's welcome.
Listen to this.
You hear what I said? I'm and what?
God, it was... That is the worst song in the history. Look at this thing. Don't you remember that from the 70s? It was like on. Just so bad, man. Oh, God, that was so shitty. All right, anyways, let's see. Thank you, Candalee Woodward Stone, for the 52 months. And we had Kathy JG. Gifted 5. That was the first one. It took so long to even get into the point where we were, getting support for the channel. Then we had Tony Morrow. Well, actually, I put him on the screen. Tony Morrow, Eagle, Stars and Stripe. Then we had Cheryl Bullock. Then we had Notorious Nance. Then Mary Mellon. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. And then she did 20. It's really the only reason we made it to the goal tonight. Then we had Lanky Tor, or without that we wouldn't even be at the goal. So then we have Lanky Tor came in here, then Vicky Cobb, and then Nanny Mo. That was helpful as well. The 10 gifted memberships, and then Eagle Stars and Stripes super chat, then Michelle Pate, and then another Candy, if you can believe that. Candy Nedwards gifted a membership. Then Eagle Stars and Stripe gifted 5. And then I gifted 5. And then Marine Co. gifted 1. Then we had Ashley, Bruce Holdaway, All good names taken again. Lisa Valenzuela. And Bruce Holdaway. Look at, we only have like mods. Hey, Lucy Day. Yes, Sunshiny Day. That was Sunshine Day. That was the other one of the other ones. Remember the silver platters? When they actually probably should have won that. Yeah. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Reached the goal again. Thanks to everybody who was helping support the channel. Kind of a weird one tonight. Not very many people at all throughout the show. But for those who did, thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you guys. I do the shows. You guys support the channel. And we go out there and make a difference. We've already donated $500 this month to Rain. And maybe we'll do another 500 here in, I don't know, next 7 days or so. And then we'll have our donation night. Hopefully we can get to at least 2,500 or so this month. It's not really starting off that great. It's sort of averagey kind of thing. I guess we'll see how it goes. You never know, man. You just never know. So anyways, do you guys have at least a decent time in here tonight? I know we had some... It doesn't seem like we can ever go a night without somebody being a troll-like. You know, I don't know where these people come from. You know, I never made a comment about, hey, that's bullcrap about, because that's exactly what I've said regarding the that he probably shot Spncer first, and then he had to wait, and then he killed Monique second because he wanted her to see it. I've said that since the beginning. I just don't know where these people come from. It's just really bizarre. And I don't remember anybody. I haven't even seen anybody type that in. So I don't know where he came up with that. You know, so it just almost seems like these people sort of plan it. You know, wait around, wait for a moment. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. Hey, I'm glad you had a good time. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, thanks, everybody. We will see you guys next time. Not a soul called in. The link has been at the top of the screen the entire show, and not one soul came in. You ever notice that the conspiracy channels that are all fanciful bullshit, they get calls the entire show? Don't you find that strange? Why does that happen? It's crazy. Anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that
Not
is
even one?
Not even
Crime
one.
dissector, like rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give
Hey,
another
Timothy,
lecture.
how's it going,
Crime
man?
collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. On his specter, with all respect, just remember I have a type of fucking check. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody, talk to you later.
Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we use logic, reason, and common sense in all of our true crime cases. Thank you very much for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. You like all those? All right, see you guys.